Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday and I hope you are enjoying. Today we'll speak of course about the actuality of Juventus. We are going towards the Derby della Mole this weekend. The big question mark of course is, will Vlahovic be available or not? We have an update. The other question is about what will happen tomorrow when we will have the final verdict of Paul Pogba that we will speak about. And then a really interesting topic is that yesterday Giuntoli, President Ferrero, but also Calvo had a meeting with Juventus fan club Parlamento del Senato, where they spoke about Juventus today, but also the future of Juventus, with a fantastic sentence that gives us a lot of hope, the one of President Ferrero saying, La Juventus tornerà ad essere la Juve. Juventus will be back to be Juventus. We can believe in this, yes or no, but I want to link it with what happened yesterday, because I will tell you that yesterday I fulfilled a childhood dream, and I'm absolutely not exaggerating. Yesterday, thanks to Juventus, on their Twitch channel, I had the opportunity to do a live, and for the first 30 minutes, I had the opportunity to be live with Ciro Ferrara, mighty number 2, one that wore the shirt that I'm wearing today, and then Angelo di Livio, that also wore that shirt, numero 7, the famous Il Soldatino. And I'm aware that a lot of you new generations will tell me, Beppe, we can't pick them in Ultimate Team, in FIFA. Who are these guys that you are speaking about? Well, we are speaking, ladies and gentlemen, about legends of the club. And yesterday, speaking with them, you know, it was a total casual discussion with a lot of fun, with jokes, with this, with that. They brought me back to when I was a kid, when I started supporting Juve. Not because it was a winning Juve when I started supporting. By the way, the last time that we won a Scudetto was in 85-86. I am born in 81, so that Scudetto, I don't really feel mine because I was too small, I was not really following Juventus. But from that moment on, I had to wait until season 94-95 first to win my first real Scudetto. So 8 seasons long, where I started, let's say, to support really Juve between 89-90 years of stuff when we arrived fourth. Well, between that time, it was a really dark period. Maybe we can compare it a bit to the dark period that we are in today, where in the past a lot of people were asking themselves, will Juventus one day be back? Because I tell you, the position that we were in these 8 years, 2nd, 6th, 4th, 7th, 2nd, 4th, 2nd again. We changed a lot of coaches. We were not able to go back to victory until 94-95, where we had simultaneously in the team these two guys, Ferrara di Livio. They brought me back to childhood memories, and they remembered me that Juventus can have difficult cycles, but in a way or another they always find the strength, thanks to that continuity also of the ownership, to be back the Juventus that we all loved. And I know that for a lot of people that started supporting Juve or being aware of what Juventus was in the time of 9 consecutive Scudetti, Supercoppa, Coppa Italia, arriving twice in the Champions League, even if we didn't win that last step that could have brought us back that trophy, well, Grazie, I tell you that it was just fantastic, and it gave me again that ultra boost, that hope, that positivity that, you know, me on the channel, I am an optimistic person. It brought me back to believe, to continue to believe, to go through that really difficult period, because it's difficult, we have to admit it. But yesterday, I tell you, 30 minutes with them, that was fantastic. They told me about anecdotes and so on. At a certain moment, listen to what Ferrara is saying in that video.
Ah, Ciro, guarda che siamo alla prima di campionato. Angelo, ricordati cosa ci hanno fatto l'anno scorso allora.
Straordinario, ragazzi.
For the people that do not understand Italian, I will translate you. At a certain moment, he was explaining how Ferrara was motivating every single one of the team before a game. And every time he was saying, ragazzi, don't forget what they did to us in that home game, where Di Livio, that was always the last one in the bus, he was always replying, but Ferrara, it's the first game of the season, what can we remember? And then Ferrara started to joke, remembering, ragazzi, okay, go back to what they did to us last season. So it was one of the things they spoke about. Gianluca Valli, they spoke about Del Piero, they spoke about how they won that Champions League, that it was so beautiful. Livio, at a certain moment, he says, they always told us, when you're entering that field before that final, don't look at the trophy because it brings bad luck. He said, you know what? Before playing, I watched that trophy. I watch it because it's so beautiful, and winning it in Italy, in Roma, it was just a fantastic feeling. So many anecdotes, just fantastic. And that gave me so much boost that I really needed also to believe a bit more to the sentences of Ferrero. I repeat, la Juve tornerà ad essere la Juve. Juventus will be back to be Juventus. So what did they speak about yesterday in that meeting in front of Juventus fan club Parlamento del Senato? They spoke and they went back about that plea deal that we did last season with Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio, with also UEFA. A plea deal that we knew it, we accorded ourselves to have that minus 10 points and so on and so on. Well, Ferrero, the president, explained that he didn't want to take things too long, because waiting, taking it longer in court here and there would have blocked and stopped our growth, our renewal, our rebuilding. So we had to find a fast solution, and also saying that unfortunately the actual system of court is leaving not a lot of room, not a lot of space to defend yourself. It is what it is. Last season we spoke so many times about the defense of Juve that they were not even able to explain. And they said we had to go fast, because we have to go faster and faster to go back to Juventus, what Juventus really is. And that's why they chose for that plea deal. And admitting, in a way, we were kind of obliged. If we didn't, maybe would have suffered even more and longer, not even knowing if we would have been able to win or not. This Friday, there will be the meeting of the board members, where they will agree on the financial books. We already anticipated it, from 240 million euro in negative. We went this season, we will close the books with a negative of 115 million, which is a fantastic saving, but absolutely not enough. But they will also put on the table the possibility of a capital increase that was denied a few weeks ago, a few months ago, but more we are going, more there is a possibility to have another capital increase that can give a boost to Juventus to go back to be Juventus. They spoke about Mercato, where Giuntoli repeated we will have an open eye and monitoring every possible solution, but of course not forgetting two different words: sustainability and competitiveness. That's super important. How will they do it? Paying attention to have a mix of still great players, fantastic players from a certain level, mixed with youth sector players from the next gen, that is bringing us players that can have a beautiful futures, and also with a bit less known players, a bit less expensive players, but with a high rendimento. That means with a high return on investment. So that's what Juventus will do, the strategy. They already explained it, but they repeated it yesterday. They spoke about Allegri, still defending the work of Allegri, that we know we have an objective all together, is going back step by step to a winning team, to winning game, to offer more aggressivity, to offer that perspective of another way of offering football. We will probably not be able to do it from one day to another, but that's the objective that is clear in mind. So at the moment they continue to defend Max Allegri, and then they said also other sentence like stiamo lavorando per voi. We are working for you. Beautiful words to hear in a moment like that. They don't forget us. They are working for us. I know the most negative between you, the most pessimist between you, they will say it's only words. We want to see facts, and I tell you the truth, that's same for me. I want to see the beautiful words of Juventus will be back to be Juventus. We are working for you. I want to see them on the field. But of course, I am patient. I already went through a cycle of not victory that I explained to you when I was a kid. I went back to a cycle of not victory in 2006. We are going through that same cycle, so I'm sure, I am convinced, and I'm happy that yesterday I had that live with Ciro and with Angelo that brought me back to my childhood memory and telling me, still believe, fino alla fine, because Juventus will be back. And to tell you, yesterday Cristiano Giuntoli was already at work. Ma che sta cucinando? what is he cooking, Cristiano Giuntoli? Because yesterday he was in Inter Benfica Champions League in San Siro watching the game. Would he be there just because he wants to watch football? I don't think so. The last one that I remember that went from another team to watch a game of football was Gagliardini, when he was a fresh Juve player together with Spinazzola. They were Gagliardini just Inter, the other ones were Atalanta players. They went to the Allianz Stadium to watch Juventus Barcelona. That's the last time I remember. But the Giuntoli, he doesn't go to another stadium to watch a Champions League. So he was monitoring some players. From Inter, I don't think so, because he could do it easily, but probably from Benfica. And if we are looking at the starting lineup of Benfica, well, who was he monitoring? Was it Angel Di Maria? Absolutely not. First of all, because he was our player last year that we didn't renew, also because he didn't play a really great game, and also because we have another player that I compared personally to the new possible Di Maria, without putting too many pressure, but the player that is actually starting to show his quality at Frosinone. We are speaking about Mattia Soulé. Mattia Soulé, that we will start talking with him to possibly renew his contract, because now his contract is until 2026, increasing his salary, letting him know that we are really happy about the performance that he's doing on loan to Frosinone. A guy that loves Juventus, that in his heart would love to be the heir, the successor of Paulo Dybala. Calma. Not Paulo Dybala, but a kind of player like Dybala, a kind of player of the new Angel Di Maria. So the talks will be positive. Will he be back? Will it be possible to have him in a starting lineup? Only the future will tell us. Maybe we will be able to sell him, but renewing the contract, we will be able to have him and to sell him for much more money. So in a way or in another, extending the contract of Mattia Soulé is important. So for what and for which player was Cristiano Giuntoli there yesterday in Inter Benfica? The rumors are saying that he was there to monitor one player in particular, Joao Neves, born in 2004, a player that was able, after that Benfica sold Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea, to immediately start being a starter in that lineup. He played with continuity, and what Juventus is really attracted for is his intelligence of tactical play, but also the way that he's moving with the ball, the technical skills he has with the ball. So intelligent midfielder, and also on the ball. Will it be easy to have him? No, because they already sold Enzo Fernandez for a record fee. They have money enough, Benfica, so they are not really obliged to sell. Sorry. But it's a player that at the moment is the starter, is playing with continuity. The dream of Benfica would be to have him one more year, so also in season 24-25, for then selling him for a much higher fee, because at the moment today we are speaking about the 20-25 million euro value, and they believe that keeping him one more year, they will even increase the request and more competition will be on the player. So it will be a big work of Giuntoli to anticipate it and to finding a deal as soon as possible. Again, not easy, but he's cooking, and that's really a great news, especially because he needs to be fast. Tomorrow we will know the verdict about Paul Pogba, and you know there are two different scenarios. Or he's negative to the counter test, and negative, that's the best possible scenario where nobody is believing it, but if negative counter test, oh, he could even be there and playing against Torino if he is in form. It could be if it's negative. If it's positive, unfortunately, so a confirmation of that first test, well, then you start with court. He can or not defend himself and accepting a punishment, a ban between the 1 and the 4 season, or he can find a plea deal to reduce it, or he can start defending himself, but it will be quite tough, quite complicated. But these are things that we will know tomorrow. But if Pogba is not there, of course, we will need a midfielder, maybe already in January. Speaking about birthdays, because today is the 4th of October, I want to say a happy birthday to my cousin Adriano Messina. Why? Because it's my cousin, but he's a big fan of the channel, watching every single video. So happy birthday to Adriano, but also happy birthday to Ealing Jr. Ealing Jr. that I want to wish him for his birthday much more minutes on the field. At the moment, with 3 players there on the left side between Kostic, Cambiaso and himself, it's a bit difficult. He didn't play as much as you want, as much as I want, and I'm sure as much as he wants. So that's what I'm wishing for him, more minutes, and maybe with more minutes confirming himself to be a new kind of Mauro German Camoranesi, ex-legend, ex-player of Juventus that was playing in a kind of similar role to him on the right side, but Mauro German also is celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday to Mauro, happy birthday to Samuel, and now we go towards the last part of the video. Tutto sport, Juve, Vlahovic è l'uomo derby. Juventus, Vlahovic is the derby man. Yesterday we already anticipated you how much difficulties we had to play without Dusan Vlahovic, especially for Chiesa that found a fantastic combination in the first 4 or 5 games with Dusan, scoring 4 goals each from the moment that Dusan is not there. He had a bit more difficulties to find that partnership with Milik, partnership with Moise Kean, so we hope to see him there. So what are the physical conditions at the moment for the players? Milik today is training full with the team, so he will be back on the Derby della Mole. Vlahovic not yet. He's doing an individual training session in the gym and so on and so on. I told you yesterday we are trying with a specific plan to train him individually, but also parts with the team to have him back for the Derby della Mole. At the moment, we can't confirm that he will be called up. We can't confirm that he will start the game, but at least we are working on it. And until I tell you, this weekend we will try everything to have him. Good news is Bremer, it was confirmed that it was only cramps because today he was doing all the training session with the team. So on that one we are good. If you want a few words about the Champions League of yesterday, Corriere dello Sport is speaking about Inter with the goal of Thuram. Inter dominated that game against Benfica. Could have been much more, but the goalkeeper that they wanted, Inter wanted that goalkeeper during the Mercato and they couldn't seal the deal, was saving everything. So good performance of the Nerazzurri. I just watched the highlights, not the entire game. I just also watched a possible penalty not given to Benfica. Well, I will never understand it. But it is what it is. Let's not complain about other teams. We are not even in Champions League. So stai zitto, Beppe. Shut up, Beppe. But yesterday I watched Napoli against Real Madrid. I was nearly convinced that Napoli would win for the first time in their history against the Blancos. They didn't. They lost 3-2 with actually a beautiful game. Beautiful game from two teams that were trying to attack. They were trying to play. Beautiful midfield of Napoli doing a lot of successful passes and so on and so on. A bit shaky Real Madrid in the back. But guys, instead of going to the Gazzetta dello Sport page that is speaking about Milan, Dortmund, Napoli that lost with that fantastic goal of Valverde, I want to speak about Jude Bellingham. Mamma mia, what a player. I'm not speaking here that I discovered Jude Bellingham, ragazzi, but what a player. What a player. 20 years old. The kid, he just arrived at Real Madrid and he's saying, you know what, Real Madrid is my team. I am the boss. In terms of personality, the way that he's playing, not a lot of players impressed me so much in changing team, going a top team, being so young and already putting the name on it. The name on it. Well, when we are speaking about young players, there are levels in young players. We can mention a lot of young players, youth academy, next gen, from all, but then you have that exception to the rule. You have the Jude Bellingham, and there is only one Jude Bellingham. That guy not only will probably win the Golden Boy in December trophy award, but that guy is going to the stars. He's going there. Hey, what a kid, what a guy. Super impressed, and you know that we don't speak too much about other players on the channel, but I really wanted to underline it. On the other side, from the young baby that is growing and doing fantastic things, we go to the veteran, to the old one that is probably playing his last season, Leonardo Bonucci, that yesterday lost with Union Berlin after leading, I believe, 2-0. They lost 3-2. Ragazzi, all the games that he played since he arrived, they lost. Maybe the problem is Bonucci, maybe not, I don't know, but they will have to solve it. Anyway, ragazzi, that was it for me. Giuntoli cooking, my childhood dream. I didn't even mention Leonardo Cerri. Yesterday I had the opportunity also to speak with Leonardo Cerri, the one that in 6 games with the next gen already scored 3 goals. Was really a pleasant moment. I was about to forget, so Leonardo Cerri, if you are watching, un bacio. Ragazzi, a lot of things, let me know in the comments. Maximum of like, continue to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza. Juve.